Set your place on fire.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
Hello. Welcome, everyone. You're listening to the Narrator Podcast, the home of original people, positivity, positive frames of reference, original people reciprocity, upliftment, and empowerment. And I am your host, Halsey Allen. Welcome all my narrators. Welcome anybody new that's just now tuning in and unfamiliar with the platform. Welcome to you. Thanks for tuning in today. So, I'm live. All my narrators know the demonstration already, but allow me to give all new people just now tuning in a brief rundown of my content and what my platform is all about. So let's start at the top. The Narrative Podcast. I essentially started this podcast because I believe, it was to my personal belief, that the media is weaving a false narrative about original people. I believe, they give an inaccurate portrayal of our people and our culture. So I want to design a platform where, I'm highlighting and showcasing us at our best instead of our worst. The media, it's their job to show us at our worst, to perpetuate and generate negative stereotypes within our culture, and play up all the negative nuances about our people, and basically crank out propaganda about us. And it's basically what they're designed to do, which is to sell news, and nothing sells more news quicker than us, our people. Like, we're so interesting. Unfortunately, they just want to sell us at a warped, skewed perspective. They don't ever want to, tell all the good things we do, and how much of an asset we are as a people, and how much we've contributed to the world. They just always want to show us down bad and doing something negative. So it's partly to sell news, and another part is to maintain the balance of power. They want to misrepresent us intentionally to people outside of our culture by giving them, poor frames of reference about our people and our culture. And they do that in addition to just trying to make money, like I said, to keep dominant society in power. They want to make us look a certain way to different people to keep us, out of the higher echelon of society. Now, my intended purpose, I think I already told you about my intended purpose of the podcast. The name of the podcast, what it implies, the narrative. I didn't like the narrative about our people and our culture. So on my platform, what I'm doing is flipping the narrative by providing positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. So, what I don't do gossip. I don't do slander. I'm just trying to, share stories about, us winning, overcoming adversity, triumphing in the face of adversity. You will hear stories about entrepreneurship, leadership, family structure. That's what I do on my platform. I also deliver commentary about current events, in concerns with our people. This is a live edition, so I'm not doing that today. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share some positive frames of reference. I came across some articles. I'm going to share those with you, and then also I'm going to deliver some commentary about some current events, and then I think I'm going to go out of sequence. I usually do the commentary last, and then I do my commentary last after the articles, and I give you a brief, rundown of my podcast when I'm doing a full broadcast. But today I'm gonna switch it up a bit. I'm going to deliver the commentary right after the articles, and then I'm going to give you the walkthrough for the full broadcast and the reason why I'm doing it. For those that don't know, I try to, deliver, the message in a timely manner. So I'm all about time efficiency on my platform. I don't like to drone on and on talking, and I try to, hit all my speaking points in a timely manner. Try to keep everything in like 1 hour, not exceeding an hour. For a live broadcast, my ideal time is just 45 minutes, but it all depends on what I have to cover. So that's why I'm kind of switching it up, because I do have like 3 things I want to talk about for commentary today. So that's why I'm doing the commentary like right after the articles. But now let's go back, about the podcast. My overall takeaway that I want my listening audience to get from my content is the importance of, why it's important to share positive content on your platforms. Like I said, that's the nature of my podcast, is deliver positive content about our people and our culture. The importance of that, like I said, the media gives, false narratives and just a misrepresentation of our people and our culture to people outside of our culture. So the only things they know of us is the frames of reference they receive by the media. And so just imagine if we're always posting like gang culture, drug culture, gun culture, pimp culture, whore culture, thought culture, gangster culture, bully culture, fight culture. If we're always posting all these negative nuances within our culture, that's our, representation to the world, like people outside of us. Because, these days your content, whatever you post online, that's your carbon footprint. People associate your ideals, your belief systems, your values, what you are as a person based on the content that you post. So, it's up to us it's not the end all be all solution for inclusion, for equality, um, for correct representation, but, it is a solution. It's solution based, putting out the positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. The ultimate thing, of course, is to like separate and get our own and do for ourselves and all that. But until the meantime, we got to crank out those positive frames of reference. We should be posting positivity on whatever platform you're on, something positive about your community, something positive about your family, um, you know, just human interest stories, somebody's doing something positive, teaching, leading, uh, building, organizing, networking, just anything pushing the cause further. That's what we should be posting, not posting us fighting each other, not posting us dragging each other all up and down social media, calling each other names, going back and forth in the comment section. That's what we don't need to be posting. So I think I've covered it in a nutshell. I'm about to dive into this content. Last thing I want to touch on, I noticed you may have noticed me say original people or original quite frequently in reference to our people. Um, on my platform, I refer to us as original as opposed to black. Um, I just recently had an epiphany about the way the word black is used in reference to our people. Um, going all the way back to the beginning of time, black meant something good in reference to our people. It was a positive word, but colonizers, they defiled it and made the word filthy. And, I also believe in the power of words. When you use words, you got to understand the etymology and, where the word came from, how it was derived, because your words, they have a universal consequence of using them. Like words shape reality and they shape matter. So you got to be careful and selective of the words you use and how you use them. So in reference to our people, it's been ingrained in us through the English language and, Western civilization and Anglo-American culture and, white Spaniards and Caucasian Latins and, all the people that made up this language that we're speaking right now has sought fit to make black mean something negative. Like if you go into any dictionary, any thesaurus, look up the word black, the way it's used now, as opposed to how we were using it means something negative. It has negative connotations surrounding it. Before we come to all the negative connotations surrounding it, the very first thing they do is, let black associated with our people descending, Aboriginal people descending, have indigenous roots to Africa. That's what they say in like all dictionaries. Aboriginal people descending from Africa. Black. Just, pull your phone out, look at the color black. Just type in black. And you will see what I'm talking about. Then they got all these negative nouns, pronouns, verbs, adverbs, etc. Example sentences describing the way to use black, like black, dirty, desolate, depressed, so on and so forth. Even in some versions, black not of God, I believe it's the Oxford one. They got that one in there. I believe seen that in the Oxford. I might be wrong, but I know it's in one of them. But yeah. So basically, this is like psychological warfare. Them doing that, putting it in the dictionary like that, and it resides in our subconscious, and and your subconscious is what manifests reality. This is how they've ingrained the word black into our subconscious and our psyches. And if you look at our people here in America and abroad, you will see that we're always, catching the bad in the business. But a word that doesn't have any negative connotation surrounding it, the word original. The word original means first, and in many cases, the word original means the best. Now, not saying we're superior to anyone, but we definitely, is factly a word? Were unequivocally the first. We were the first human beings on this planet. We mothered and fathered a civilization. We originated the spoken word. We originated the written word. We're the original scientists. We were original architects. We were the original mathematicians. We were the original teachers. We are the original scholars. We're the original philosophers. We are the original builders. I already said architects, but you get my meaning. Like, we originated pretty much everything. Pretty much every modern day convenience we have, our people built. We originated pretty much everything on this planet. So I think, referring to us as original as opposed to black, I think that it's more gravity behind that. It means more. It's more stirring. But, so it's not that I'm ashamed of being black. It's not that I think it's just referring to us as black is just all wrong. I just think the word original is more, befitting us. I just think this is more original, is more suitable, a more suitable word to describe us as opposed to black. So if you want to call yourself black, be my guest, go ahead. I'm not even trying to go down that rabbit hole with, different people in different communities and trying to spark that type of debate. I'm just saying, I believe, the word original is more befitting to describe us as a people as opposed to black. So, on my platform, I try to refer to us as original as often as possible. And I just wanted to clear that up if you was wondering why I kept on saying original. All right, so about to dive into the content. I just want to say right quick to send some healing energy out. And ask everybody that believes in prayer to pray over Mr. JoJo Haley, Casey and JoJo. He just recently, was on the mend. He just recently had a stroke. He joined his bandmates at a concert. He was just coming off of his stroke to perform their rendition of Stevie Wonder's Lately, which is kind of iconically theirs now. Like, if you're up on the band, if you follow Jodeci, they put a nail in it. Like, it was Stevie Wonder's, but they over the years since the 90s, they took it way beyond, his expectations when he wrote it. I think he even joined them, came on Arsenio, like in the 90s, in the early 90s, they was doing, the Lately on Arsenio, like, I think it was like 93, 94, something like that. And he joined them on stage, just because he enjoyed the way, they sung it. I think they first performed it on MTV's Unplugged, and ever since then they just been going strong with it. But they took it to a whole nother plateau. But yeah, he was just coming off the mend, like he just recovering from a stroke. They didn't say from what, but just put that healing energy over him, sending positivity his way, and yeah, that's all. It came across my radar a couple of days ago, and I just felt like putting that in the atmosphere. But on diving right into my content for today's live edition of the Narrator Podcast. All right, in commemoration with Black History Month, we're winding down. It's like we're nearly at the end of this very short month to celebrate all our people's accomplishments, what we've contributed to this country and the entire world. But anyway, I got some Black History facts today before I'm diving into my normally scheduled content for the Narrative Podcast Live Edition. So in commemoration with Black History, I got a couple Black History facts for you. Fact number one, the inventor of the smartphone was one Mr. Jesse Russell. He attended Fisk University. He also attended Tennessee University. He patented the cellular base station. He also created 4G, and he has over 100 patents out in communications. So that's my first Black History fact. And on to my next one. This inventor's name is Mark E. Dean, excuse me. He's the inventor of the color PC monitor for computers, and he also created the first gigahertz chip. Now, when you're talking about chips in computers, computers is basically like the brain of the computer. That's where all the information and the data is stored and collected, and how the information is, getting sent to all the other devices in the computer. He created that. He created the ISA bus, and what that stands for is industrial standard architecture. And what that does is basically it is a system where it just basically allows you to put in other devices into the computer, such as the keyboard, such as your mouse, such as the printer. That's where all that plugs into, is the ISA bus. In 2011, he was inducted into the National Hall of Fame, or Inventors Hall of Fame. And then last but not least, for my Black History fact, one Mr. Otis F. Boykin. He is primarily, the first thing you think of when you think of his name that comes up is the pacemaker. But he's also the father of the precision electrical resistor. And now, if you didn't know, a resistor is like the key component for any electrical device. And what resistors do they basically they move the electricity to the device that is sitting on, like the device that is plugged into. The resistor is just like, regulate the flow of power or circulate the flow of power. So basically, like a resistor, if it was the human body, it would be like your what is it, capillaries or something, like whatever, like your veins, the sends the blood. That's basically what a resistor is. It's also based off the law of impedance. It's a really long formula, but it regulates the flow of electric current. So, no electronic device would function properly without a resistor. So, like especially computers, you got resistors, you got capacitors, you got diodes, and then sidebar, all those components come from, they get the raw material to make all those components from Africa. Just so you didn't know, this is why China is, trying to slowly buy up Africa, because that's, where they go to get all those raw materials to make resistors, diodes, fiber optic cable, and all those things that you need for computers and electronics in Africa. That's where they get that from. But anyway, I got sidetracked. I sidetracked myself. What I was saying was he invented like the first resistor. His was model was a precision resistor. So it it send out just enough current to where it wouldn't overload the device and just regulate everything so it'll run smoothly. I mean, as far as electronic devices go, always, have a short circuit or something. But essentially, a resistor is what you need to regulate the power flow inside of electronic device. And he created that, our brother. And matter of fact, the types of resistors out, they're kind of they're multicolored. Each color is associated with a number. And so if you ever took electronics, you would know I've taken it. So I can just, I could spend all day saying buzz terms and all that, but I'm trying to just keep it in lay terms. But basically that's that code system is how powerful the resistor is, how much power that it puts out. And then he also created an electrical resistor. Now, an electrical resistor is basically like a generic modified version of the precise resistor that he created. It just was cheaper and he was able to manufacture and make more of. It basically does the exact same thing, but then not the same thing, if that makes sense. But a pioneer for sure. Anything electrical, you need a resistor in it. And that will conclude my last Black History, or no, take that back. Well, that was my last positive Black History fact. See, in Black history, you can't just talk about the positive. We got to talk about the negative stuff too, because it's history, and negative things impacted us as a people and made us as a people as well. It was through injustices that kind of brought us together as a people and made us, want to overcome and seek equality and inclusion. So if you've been following up with me, I've been sharing all this month, positive Black history facts and then also negative Black history facts, things that we went through and things that we, had done to us. So, you can't talk about one without the other. So today's negative, I don't have three of them, I just got the one. But I thought it was some old BS. It came like, I was familiar with the story a long time ago, but it's been popping up in my feeds lately. So I want to share this one, and thank goodness we're not living in these times anymore. But here it goes. In 1951, a man by the name Matt Ingram was accused of reckless eyeballing. And reckless eyeballing is the improper looking at a white person with sexual intent. And this happened in North Carolina. So essentially, and yes, and they had an actual law down south called reckless eyeballing. This was a law. So for all, my Caucasian listeners and, Caucasian people that say don't dwell on the past, why you got to go all the way back to slavery. This happened, a man actually got incarcerated in 1951. That's not all that long ago. A woman by the name of Willie Jean Boswell testified in court that she was scared when she saw him looking at her from 75 feet away. He was 75 feet away, and she thought he was looking at her. She was, and then the kicker is the lady's 71 years old. Was 71 years old at the time. She didn't even have 20/20 vision. She just knew she had a black, he was her next door neighbor. Like he lived a couple houses down from her. So she just knew somebody black was in her vicinity and she felt uncomfortable. This is like the OG Karen. But anyway, it was some messed up junk. They convicted the brother and he did about 5 years for, that unjust law that they had in Carolina at the time. So let us never ever forget about that. Reckless eyeballing. And that'll do it for my Black History Facts. And on into the content for my live edition of the Narrator Podcast. I'm going to be giving you positive frames of reference via articles that I came across. And then after the articles, I'm going to dive into some commentary. After the commentary, I'm going to give you a walkthrough through my normal broadcast day and then leave you to enjoy the rest of your evening. All right, so up first, article number 1, the headline reads, Proud Dad Celebrates Son Who Became a Pilot After 11 Years of Studying. The young brother's name is Delonte Sykes. His father's name is Valentino Sykes. And that's how it kind of went viral. It went viral because he shared it to his Facebook, posted on Facebook a picture of Delonte in his captain's uniform, flight captain's uniform. And the caption read, Proud Dad Moment. My son was selected in the first round of the airline draft by American Airlines. He was drafted as a first officer. And that's what the caption read, and this is what kind of got the story going viral. And so that's why I want to share it on my platform, because I'm all about positivity and, providing positive frames of reference about our people and our culture. But it don't get more positive than that. All right. Article reads. Next article, the headline reads, 14-year-old black author of 8 books partners with Ethiopian literacy expert. The young sister she's Ethiopian, so bear with me as I try to pronounce her name. Leah Marie Fiska Angelita. She's from Seattle, Washington. She's bilingual, of course. She's Ethiopian. She speaks, 8 different dialects of her native tongue. And she's published 8 bilingual books featuring stories about her life in Ethiopia. She accomplished this with the help of a one author named by the name of Jane Kurtz. She helped her publish that book. She's done some book publishing as well. The story kind of was about her. I didn't really feel the need to tell Jane's accomplishments. Not that I'm racist or nothing like that, but I'm providing a positive frame of reference about our people on my platform. So kudos to Jane for helping the young lady, though. And then since she's written her book, she's founded a nonprofit with her mother. And the nonprofit is Open Hearts Dream Big. And basically they create, publish, and distribute bilingual books with cultural appropriate content. All right, in my last article for this evening, 18-year-old, headline reads, 18-year-old black entrepreneur lands deal with major grocery retailer with 75 stores in 11 states. And the young lady's name is Ayana Fernando. She's 18 years old. She's a CEO and founder of Sugar Sweet Bath and Body Treats. Her company's based out in Kalamazoo, Michigan. And she's partnered currently with Fresh Time Market. So let's give it up in the Warm Narrative podcast. Round of applause for all the articles that I shared with you. I usually do them the applause after each one, but I forgot to do that today. So we're just gonna clap it up for all of them this evening. All right, and we're going to go into commentary, just some stuff I didn't get to speak on. They've already happened. I just want to give my little spiel on the Grammys and the Super Bowl. So first of all, the Grammys, I just wanted to speak on, their hip hop tribute. It was 30 years in the making, because for those that don't know, about 30 years ago, They didn't even have a category for hip hop at all. Will Smith, Salt and Pepper, and many other artists of the late 80s, early 90s were boycotting the Grammys because they didn't have any hip hop categories, and hip hop was, outsold pretty much. Hip hop artists outsold everybody that year. And I forget which Grammys it was, but and here we are 30 plus years after the fact. They did like a celebration, a 50-year celebration for hip hop. So that was monumental. Let's make some noise. A lot of people was upset because a whole lot of the internet still going crazy. Well, how are you going to have a 50-year hip hop celebration if without this person, without that person contributed, that person contributed, and how you not have this, that, and the third, and da 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 da. But here's the thing, again, they didn't even have hip hop categories like 30 years ago. Two, like they're saying hip hop is 50 years old. In reality, nobody really knows how old it is because we can't get any historians to all come together to give us a textbook, black and white, detailed how the culture of hip hop came to be. We're not in agreement. We're never ever going to be in agreement. We're never going to ever get people to sit down and unequivocally say, this is the beginning of hip hop, this is the middle, and this is what it is now. We're never going to get that. We're never going to get it. So we actually don't even know how old hip hop really is. So there's not you're not going to condense 50 years of culture into I think it was like an hour, like a 20-minute block. Like you had all the legends, most all the legends. You had LL, you had Rakim, and a whole lot more. You just it was what it was. Basically, that's what I'm saying. It just was what it was, and it's cool that they even acknowledged it. Now, my point, other than that, is are they acknowledging it because you can't deny it because hip hop is such a driving force? It can't be denied now, or are you acknowledging it because you want to exploit the culture and exploit the artists like you've been doing? Because now it's more money on the table and it's more beneficial for you. Now that it stood the test of time, and now that you're going to get money from it, now that that the culture propels everything in the world, can sell any product, is that why you gave it the time slot, or because you love the culture? Why did you give it, why now? I mean, I'm not disappointed, but I'm just saying, I don't think it was done out of admiration for the craft. I think it was more selfish. It was just cultural appropriation. I think that's what it's called. I think that's what it was. But I don't want to diminish that evening. All the artists was immaculate that night. I think all of them kind of, pardon the expression, dusted off the cobwebs. I think They was feeling real nostalgic, feeling like they was in their late teens and early 20s again, on the stage in front of that crowd, just energetic, loving the craft, and getting reminded, like, because you lose when an industry like that, you kind of lose your way after a while. It's just like you lose your passion after a while. I think a whole lot of them got reminded of their passion that night, or why they even, decided to become an artist in the first place. And I think they fell in love with the craft all over again. But yeah, that's all I want to say. There's just no way you're going to condense 50 years in like a 2-3 minute block. No way. So of course they was going to leave people out. But we're glad we got that. And then I'm more glad that nobody got in the fight. Well, at least not like on stage and in the crowd. Like, I think they said there was some commotion in the background with the Migos, I think. I was hearing that. But no actual footage of people throwing punches and chairs and drinks and, acting the ass. So good job, hip hop. Good job, guys. So my next subject I wanted to talk about was the Super Bowl. Like I said, I didn't really watch it. I'm still kind of watching little highlight clips. One thing that I did see on the halftime is Cheryl Lee Ralph, somebody that I gave spotlight on my platform in the spotlight section. I'll be breaking down my format pretty soon after I wrap up my commentary this evening. But she, sang "Lift Every Voice and Sing," and that was dope. That is Black History Month, and she chose that song. Or however the song, I don't know how they choose stuff, but I think that was pretty cool. Nobody got messy. I wasn't seeing no headlines, hearing nothing messy, nothing cringy coming from our community. No cooning. So I think that was dope. None of that happened in the advertisements and placing and everything. But I actually forgot, because I was alive during this, that like in Living Color, Keenan Ivory Wayans, he was responsible for creating halftime shows. Like, if it wasn't for Living Color, we wouldn't even be having a halftime show. Isn't that wild? Like, they came up with a whole halftime, and I was alive during this. They did this like a promotional thing on Fox to compete with the Super Bowl. And like in Living Color, all their stuff was like football themed, so you can like go watch their programming. And the ratings skyrocketed and everything, and I'm in awe over that. That's like how halftime shows started. Like, I forgot all about it, actually. That's crazy. Like, I just wonder why they ain't cutting Keenan a check. All these halftime shows, they ain't including him. Like, he need to get in on some of that. That's all I really had to say about the Super Bowl. Nothing too pressing. I mean, I could point out the obvious, why they even have a Super Bowl. I mean, if you didn't know, Super Bowl, basketball, baseball, like really all sporting events are just distractions to distract us from affairs of the state. Because if you haven't noticed, every time they have like a big game like the Super Bowl or the finals in the NBA or the World Series, there's always something political or something geographical that we need to be focusing on and paying attention to, but we get distracted with the sporting events. And it's nothing really new. It's something they've been doing since, the Greco-Roman times with the games to distract people from important news. But, yeah, that's all I want to say about the Super Bowl. Now my last thing that I wanted to comment on is just something I've recently been seeing, about Black History Month. It's been a whole surge of content creators condemning celebrating Black History Month. First of all, I'm not the arguing guy. Like, I respect all opposing views. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Everybody's entitled to their opinion. Now, I don't have to respect everybody's opinion, and I don't respect that opinion. I mean, I'm not going to get up here and name all the content creators by name and their page and all that, like who's condemning celebrating Black History Month. But I will say it's no older people. It's no like elders in the conscious community condemning Black History Month. It's no babas, it's no mothers. This is just like brand new people that ain't really even paid no dues. Just now started posting on social media, just, for shock value, just saying stuff like, if you're a grown man and grown woman, how dare you, basically equating celebrating Black History Month to believing in Santa Claus. Like, you too old to be celebrating Black History Month and all that. Like, it's like a slew of them. All these tik-tok videos and YouTube videos and TikToks I've been seeing lately. And like I said, it's no elders posting it. It's just like all younger people, like millennials and post-millennials. And I'm not trying to put it all on, that generation, because I've been seeing for just as much millennials and post-millennials anti-Black History Month. I've been seeing a whole lot of millennials and post-millennials pro-Black History Month. But, like I said, I saw it and it kind of bothered me, and I'm just speaking to like the anti-people. Like, you have to know your history. You have to. It's a must. A lot of things, their argument is like, the white man gave us Black History Month. Well, the white man gave us Christianity, but you're still a Christian. The white man gave us Islam, but you're still a Muslim. So, like, that can't be the argument for being anti-Black History Month. Like, you have to know your past in order to know your future. And to know who you are, to manifest your destiny, you have to be aware and know your roots. For the anti people, I would just say, we didn't, when like Black History Month started, it was originally Negro History Week, and it was celebrated on HBCU dormitories all over the nations. They was every single year celebrating Negro History Week. And the white man did not give them Negro History Week. This is just something they actively, as a student body, came up with, like, we need to celebrate our heritage. And we didn't have Google back then. We had encyclopedias. We had the older generation telling us about people, and we had journals. That was our frames of reference: journals, encyclopedias, and word of mouth of our ancestors, like people telling us stuff about historical events and important people that invented things. We didn't have Google back then. And, the colonizers, they erased so much. Like, another argument that they're having is, like, well, we're just celebrating slavery. We're celebrating when they had us slaves. No, we celebrate inventors. We don't got to celebrate just, slavery. We don't have to celebrate. We don't have to look at it just from the civil rights perspective. We can throw it all the way back to Mansa Musa. We can throw it all the way back to the Kush Empire. We can throw it all the way back to, where we were the prominent rulers of this earth. We can throw it all the way back all the way back to that. We don't have to just relegate it to slavery and civil rights. We know our history didn't begin with slavery. We don't have to relegate it to just slavery, but slavery is a part of our history. It did happen, so we got to talk about it. And not for nothing, not all of us were products and plants of slavery. So we got to talk. That's why we have Black History Month, to get the knowledge out there, to know things you didn't know. Because it's impossible to know everything. Nobody knows everything. If you meet somebody that says they know everything, you probably need to get away from them. Because A, they're liars, and then B, it's just impossible to know everything. That's why we celebrate Black History Month. Every Black History Month, you learn something new. There's something you didn't know. There's something you didn't know about a person you've been reading about since you were a child. You discover some new information. Still discovering new information about Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King. Still discovering new information about Frederick Douglass, W.E.B. Du Bois. Still discovering new information about, Harriet Tubman, Sojourner Truth, Phyllis Wheatley, and Madam C.J. Walker. You can't just know everything about our past. But we definitely do need some time to celebrate and for the world to acknowledge, our accomplishments. So it ain't just us celebrating it. It's for people outside of our culture to learn of us too, to enlighten them as well. Because like I said, the whole purpose of my platform is to provide positive frames of reference. And more to the point, we've been in Black History Month is essentially just storytelling. That's essentially what it is. If you strip it down to the bare bones of the celebration, it's telling stories. And our civilization, our early existence in Africa, that's what we did. That's how we culminated and shared knowledge and information. We told stories. We told stories about the land. We told stories about rulers, mythos, legends, um, you know, how things came to be. Like we didn't write stuff down. We did it all by word of mouth. And that's essentially what Black history is throwing it back to how we communicated knowledge, how we made knowledge known. That's essentially what Black History Month is all about. So what do you mean you're childish or naive for celebrating it? I just don't understand the context of that, of people saying, celebrating Black History Month is stupid. But to each their own. Like I said, I'm not no argumentative person. That's their opposing view. Everybody with the internet, you got an opposing view. That's a popular opposing view is, a whole lot of people in the conscious community are saying, celebrating Black History Month is, a waste of time and you're dumb for doing it. Like, it is what it is. So, but I already told my perspective of it, and we have to keep the knowledge circulating. You're never too old to learn something. You're never too young to learn something. And that's essentially what Black History Month is all about, is discovering new things about our people and sharing the knowledge and circulating the information. Well, that'll wrap up my commentary. So now I'm going to break down my full broadcast day for my for my new listeners. So if you're unfamiliar with my platform, buckle up. I'm going to walk you through it right now. So this is a live edition of the Narrator podcast. I broadcast every single weekend. I have a full broadcast, a full format. Now, initially, when I first started podcasting, I did not have a format. I didn't even really know what I wanted to talk about. So, when I first started podcasting, I would just hit the button and just go and talk and just whatever on my mind. And basically, it was just a glorified rant. Because my very first 2 or 3 was just really long-winded, and I didn't have any direction. And for that, I didn't have many listeners. So I decided to just, take a deep breath, look at my content, and think about what I want to do, what message am I trying to convey, what am I trying to do? So what I'm trying to do is uplift and edify my people. Okay. Let's just make this, let's shoot straight to the meat, say what you got to say, and make it very plain and make it very direct. And so that's what I did with my content. I just broke it down into sections and gave each section a speaking point. And the reason for that is so that I'm not just babbling and talking in circles. I got bulleted speaking points, so I'm staying on task, I'm staying on topic, I'm getting my point across articulately, and I'm easy to, keep up with. So basically I made my content more digestible. It'll resonate with you, and you can listen to it at your leisure. You don't have to spend 8-9 minutes what am I talking about? Get the dictionary and all that. I just want to get out the information. I want to just get out how important it is to share positive content, post positive content about our people and our culture, and celebrate our accomplishments. That's what I'm doing on my platform. And so devise a systematic way into, translating what it is I'm trying to do and what I'm trying to accomplish in my space that I have. So now I'm about to just go over my, format. I've discovered, that if it's time efficient, people will listen longer and, the content will resonate longer. And that's what I want to do, like all content creators want. They want their content to resonate with who's ever consuming the content. And you're not going to consume the content if somebody's just talking and talking and talking. So, there are some captivating people like that you don't want to miss a beat, that you can just sit with your pen and pad and just listen to them talk all day. You don't want to miss a gem. You don't want to miss one word. I'm not there yet. I'm getting there, but I'm not there yet. I know I'm not there yet. I will be one of those people. Mark my words. But right now, I'm just working with what I got. All right. So, in a normal broadcast day of the Narrator Podcast, the first section that you would hear from me is my promo section. And in the promo section, what I'm doing is giving original people that own and operate their own business or have their own product or service that they need or would like promoted. And the reason why I'm doing that is to, help do my part, circulate the original people dollar in the original people community to help, the businesses expand so that they can hire more people and do more community outreach. Because more people know about their business, product, or service. And I'm not charging any money. And if you need or would like some free promotion, you can go to my previous episode and go get the explicit details how to get the free promotion from me. And I will gladly promote your business, product, or service for 110% free on my platform, the Narrator Podcast. And then on to my second section is the contest section. In the contest section, what I'm doing is I'm promoting a contest exclusively for my podcast, the Narrator Podcast. What I'm doing is I'm basically giving incentive to listen to my podcast. So for the people that have been listening since day one, you got an opportunity to win a bulk supply of your favorite snack just by participating in the contest topic. And then for new listeners as well, you can tune in, you can win something. The more people that participate, the more lavish my prizes start getting, the more I'll be able to attract sponsors. But for right now, I'm just, doing everything out of pocket right now. So that's what I can afford right now is a bulk supply of your favorite snack. You can get that by hitting me up at, the address that I use for the promotional, how I'm separating the two is I'm separating them through the subject bars. And again, that information is also available on my last full episode of the Narrator Podcast. I'm not going to share it here today because, like I said, I'm trying to stay time efficient. So I don't want to give out the way to enter the contest on here on my live edition of the Narrator Podcast because, time efficient, trying to make it nice and relatable, trying to keep it make it flow and just make it cohesive and just nice and repetitious flow to it. So yeah. Now on to my very first section of the Narrator podcast that you will be listening to, and that will be my highlight section. And in my highlight section, what I'm doing is I'm highlighting businesses owned and operated by original people. And the reason why I'm doing that section is to provide a positive frame of reference about entrepreneurialism, because we don't see that in the media. People starting their own business and people being successful owning and operating their own business. In addition to that section, I'm also promoting why it's important to patronize businesses that we own as a people. We are due reparations, but until we get them, we have to support one another. We have to use group economics, pool our resources, but definitely support each other. And many of the businesses that I highlight not in the highlight section, they support the community. They do some type of community outreach. They pay into they either have their own nonprofit organization or they pay into a nonprofit organization. They for sure hire their own, and they know the importance of group economics. They know the importance of leaving something for future generations and things of that nature. Also, my last qualifying factor in the highlight section, it aligns up with my theme. So I was doing like Valentine's Day date theme. Excuse me, I'm a little tongue-tied this evening. I don't know what I'm gonna do this weekend. I'll surprise you with something. I'll probably surprise myself too. But I don't know. I might stay on the theme of, things you can do on a date for the rest of this month, because I've been doing the seasons. We're not quite at, spring yet. So we're still technically in winter. So I don't know what I'm going to do as far as the theme this weekend. I don't know. I might have to look at the national day, if it's a national day or something. A national food day or a national, like a national donut day or something like that. And then, original people own businesses that like sell that, whatever it is, whatever the national day is. I might do that. Or I might just stay with the date theme. I don't know. We'll see. So after the highlight section, I go to the spotlight section. In the spotlight section, what that's about is I'm spotlighting prominent figures within our community. It's usually in the entertainment industry. It's usually a singer, a recording artist, actor, actress, comedian, athlete, public figure. I've also done religious figures. Basically anybody with a public platform and doing their part into propelling the cause forward, such as doing some type of outreach, some type of giving back to the community, or just making us look good in the eye of the public, making our people look good in the eye of the public, the way they carry and conduct themselves. But definitely speaking unapologetically on our issues, on their platforms. That's all a criteria in who I select for my spotlight. And basically, the spotlight section is just giving the person their roses for, going above and beyond, championing the cause. And the ultimate takeaway I want you to get from the spotlight section is, just saying something nice about a brother and nice about a sister instead of always denigrating each other online, dragging each other online, hurling insults at one another online. That's the energy that I want to convey in that section, is just like how good it feels to, say something nice about a brother or sister, applaud their efforts and, their accolades and whatnot, instead of always bashing each other and dragging each other through the mud. And like we the only people to do that. Like you ain't never seen two Polish people go at it on Twitter. Never. Never seen two Dutch people on Twitter going back and forth. Not never. Never seen two Asian people going back and forth on social media. Never, never, ever, 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 ever. But you have when it came to us. So I just want to, break that bad habit and just celebrate us as a people. That's all I want to do. Not for nothing, before I added the spotlight section to my podcast, nobody on social media was spotlighting anybody. Before I added the spotlight section to my podcast, the Narrator podcast. Me, Halsey Allen, I did that. I created the way for spotlighting, because before I added the spotlight section to my podcast, nobody was spotlighting anybody. No, not now. Everybody on today's spotlight. Today we'll be spotlighting like nobody was doing it. Big facts. I created the way for spotlighting. You can fact check. You can go through my episode log. You can cross-reference and all that. But you will find nobody was doing it before I started it.
You are now listening to the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.
You better believe it. Okay. So after the spotlight section, I transitioned into the health and wellness section. And in the health and wellness section, I added that section because I feel, we are the most at risk and just so susceptible to so much illnesses going on, that we just basically have to stay armored up, because we are being targeted to be wiped out, not just physically, spiritually and emotionally as well. It's my personal belief. Well, it's not a personal belief, it's an actual fact. Like a large portion of total body wellness is your mind, like your mental state. Your mental state dictates, what type of foods that you're going to eat. Your mental state dictates how you feel about you. Your mental state dictates the types of choices you're going to make, the types of people that you're going to talk to. So, I said all that to say, our mental is always being attacked by the powers that be bombarding us with this trash content, feeding, warped, skewed images of us, flipping the narrative, showing us in a certain way. And what that does to us, on a health wise, is it weakens our immune system, just being bombarded with all this negativity all the time. Not only that, it causes you to look at yourself a certain way and behave a certain way. So that's what I wanted to do in this section, is just create, share tips on how to stay armored up. And then not only that we got to contend with, they're putting stuff in our food, our water, our air. So that and the media, it wreaks havoc on your subconscious and then on your psyche. So you got to, stay in practice of total body wellness. This diet, it's, the things you put in your mind, it's the things you put in your spirit. And that's what I'm, giving you in that section, how to stay armored up, physically, mentally, and spiritually. So like on the physical side, you might hear the health benefits of, a vegetable, a fruit, a plant, a herb, or extract. The health benefits of that help sustain your physical health. Or physical exercise you can perform to feel better, to feel more healthy. Mental things such as mindful breathing, little exercises you can do to decompress and to de-stress. Spiritual things such as like meditating, mindful breathing, praying, all those things are discussed in the health and wellness section. And I'm promoting total body health and wellness because, our people is just at the forefront for like all things bad health related. So we have to stay armored up, and I'm giving you the tips to stay armored up physically, mentally, and spiritually, because health is wealth. And then after the health and wellness section, I transition on into the speaking point of the day. And my speaking point of the day is usually just like current events, current news, something trending, breaking news. Sometimes it's events directly related to our people. Sometimes it's just like world news. And when it's world news, it's just like I break it down from our perspective. But essentially what I'm doing is just controlling the narrative, because the media will have us looking and sounding crazy. So, I definitely wanted to change the narrative on that. The whole purpose of the speaking point of the day is controlling the narrative, because history has taught us nothing else. If you don't tell your own story, your story will be told for you. And the way that they're telling our story is all messed up. So I unpack it from our perspective. In the event that I don't have any current news to talk about, I might do a PSA about our people, something I observed, something that we need to work on as a people. And when I say we, I mean myself as well. Because when I do my PSAs, like a good 89% of the time, I really just be talking about myself, having out loud conversations about me. But I'm glad if you got something out of it, if it helped you out. And then lastly, is my final thought of the day. So my final thought of the day is just a gem, a pearl of wisdom, just something to, you can think of. Just basically something that will resonate and excuse me, I lost my train of thought. Just something that resonate and something that will inspire critical thinking. Just give you something to ponder about. That's my last thing. Something wise, a wise word of wisdom, and then bam, that's what you'll be listening to this weekend. That's the entire Narrative podcast experience. So I know you're going to be joining me this weekend. I'm looking forward to you all joining me. Thank you to all of you for joining me. Well, that's it and that's all. I don't really have anything else lined up for you. Like I said, I try to, my goal is to keep it brief. And that's why I did my commentary in the middle instead of, towards the end this evening. Because I had so much to unpack for all the topics that I wanted to touch on. So yeah, join me this weekend for a full broadcast of the Narrator podcast. And make sure you download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrator podcast. What was I about to say? I'm sorry, I keep on losing my train of thought. Just continue to, download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast. It'll help my platform grow bigger and I can give you a better listening experience. I am in the process of transitioning to video. This is an all audio platform, so please, I can't stress enough, download this episode and all previously recorded episodes of the Narrative Podcast. Also, as you know, like I am today, I broadcast live one time during the weekday, every single weekday. You can catch me anytime when I'm live, simply by tuning in every single day. I broadcast directly from to YouTube when I'm broadcasting live, and I also broadcast directly to my Twitter when I'm broadcasting live. So if you follow me on Twitter or YouTube, you will never miss me when I'm broadcasting live. And I'm Halsey Allen on YouTube, and I'm Halsey Allen on Twitter. And you can catch both of those, and you will never miss me when I'm live if you subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell. You'll never miss me on YouTube or Twitter. If you follow me on Twitter, I don't think there's a notification bell on Twitter, but if you just follow my profile, like it's broadcasting right now as we speak, live. So do that, and you will never miss a live edition of the Narrator podcast. Oh yeah, I also wrote a book of poetry titled The Black Card. So please go to the Poetizer bookstore and purchase my copy of the book I've written, The Black Card. It's 30 poems, original, very insightful, very brilliant. You will love it. Ultra slim, sleek line edition. Portable, take it with you wherever. It's a good coffee table read. Go get it. The Black Card, Poetizer. And then also I have my own personal poetry blog. It's called Halsey's Poetry Corner at www.mrhalseysblogs.com. My tagline for that is poetry with a passion, poetry for all occasions. When you read them, you'll find out why. To support my poems, just simply go to Halsey's Poetry Corner and share any poem from Halsey's Poetry Corner on all platforms. Whatever your preferred platform is, share one of my poems from Halsey's Poetry Corner on your preferred platform. And that's it, and that's all, y'all. I'm out of here like last year. I'm Halsey Allen, changing the narrative one episode at a time and encouraging you to change the narrative one post at a time. Till next time, Halsey Allen in the Narrative Podcast, signing off. Thanks for listening. I'm out of here like last year. Halsey in the Narrative Podcast signing off. And it's like that.
Set your place on fire. Put a little bit of shit, put a little bit of shit, get a little bit of gasoline. Put a little bit of shit,
To the Narrative Podcast with Halsey Allen. The Narrative Podcast is changing the narrative one episode at a time.